So you may be asking, what does carnivore actually look like after the big weight loss, when life gets harder and discipline truly gets tested? This isn't a highlight reel. This is weight gain, bad decisions, lessons learned the hard way, and why I'm sitting here today still talking about it. So let's jump into it. Welcome back to Goforth&Carnivore. I'm Jordan. Here I share my real life and real results along the carnivore journey. Over 2024, my second year on carnivore, I lost an additional 24 pounds, bringing my total weight loss to 142 pounds, and at my lowest that year, 228 pounds. Now, I wish that I could tell you that since then I've kept losing weight and now I'm officially in the 100s, but if I'm going to stay true to real life and real results, I need to tell you the truth. As of December 2025, today, I am about 20 pounds up from my lowest weight. I'm nearly 3 years into this carnivore journey, and I can honestly say that this has been the hardest year so far. Not because carnivore stopped working, but because life just got harder. During some personal trying seasons and our schedule just getting 10 times busier, it seemed, I gave myself some cheat days. And honestly, it makes me laugh when I think about what cheat days are now, because my cheat was popcorn and cheese. There was a time that cheating meant fast food like Taco Bell or sugary food like cherry pull and pill Twizzlers or any kind of junk food. But now, popcorn and some dairy. It just still is crazy to me that in my head those are cheats, and my body says they're cheats too, but it's just crazy compared to just 3 years ago of what that was like. But here's what I've learned the hard way. If I even look at popcorn, it seems, I gain weight. And every time I'd eat it, I'd wake up the next day with horrible joint pain and cramps all night long. And sadly, I would see autoimmune issues start creeping back in. This wasn't hunger that was setting in. This was habits creeping back in. I wasn't listening to my body anymore. I was listening to my past. A past that left me in constant pain and misery, honestly. Now, I do want to say, I'm not blaming popcorn for this, but I do believe my body was trying to send me a message when I ate popcorn. One night, I ate it. The next day, I woke up, did my normal gym routine, and had my very first true injury at the gym. I tweaked my back lifting weight that I had been lifting normally for years by now. I woke up the next morning feeling 30 years older all of a sudden, and it forced me to slow down and ask the hard question. Why am I ignoring what my body has already told me works? And sadly, it took me a solid 2 weeks to get back to normal, something I had never experienced while doing strict carnivore. At one point this year, I even started letting in some veggies, and I did this mostly through eating the dip that my family makes. There's a dip called OMAD dip that has all these different herbs and seasonings in it. It is just phenomenal. I sadly still love it to this day. And so I would eat it with carrots, cucumbers, broccoli, and celery. And listen, I wanted it to work, but my body responded almost immediately. The bathroom trips that had subsided to maybe once a week has now gone back to 4 to 5 times a day, just like it was before carnivore. And it was another reminder. Carnivore has been the one thing to get my gut, my mental health, and my emotions under control. Why would I throw all of that away for foods that don't actually serve me any purpose, really? It reminded me of when I tried juicing about 10 to 12 years ago after watching the documentary Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. I went all in. I went and bought a Breville juicing machine that I really couldn't afford at the time. And I bought fresh fruits and veggies, and that's what I had. Juice all day and juice all night. I did all of this in the name of health. And during this time, no joke, I was going to the bathroom 8 to 10 times a day. Yes, I lost 17 pounds in that first week, and I wanted to make this time work, honestly. I thought I had cracked the code of some sort. Until one day I opened that container of a mixture of beet and carrot juice, My nose got a whiff of it. I kindly put the lid back on, put it in the fridge, and walked away and washed my hands of that diet once and for all. Something inside me said, nope, no more. And I learned the hard way that a stalk of celery is not the same as a bunch of celery. I juiced an entire bunch the first few days. Yes, an entire bunch of celery. So that's 10 to 12 sticks that I would sit there and juice and juice and juice and just add a little bit of fruit and other veggies for flavoring. And to this day, I still can't even the smell, let alone a little bit of a taste of celery. I learned it was not for me. But here's the difference. None of that has ever happened to me on carnivore. Sure, there was the fat adaptation phase and then the keto flu phase where I was miserable for a few days or I had really, really loose stools while my body was getting used to everything. But I've never been repulsed by meat so bad that I couldn't eat it, smell it, or even be around it like it was with the vegetables. If anything, it would be I've eaten too much meat and I'm sick of it, but by the next time I ate, there was nothing I wanted more than a big old juicy hamburger or steak or bowl of meat. If anything, carnivore has taught me to appreciate the simple foods: meat, salt, and a good sear. So what does eating look like for me right now? Believe it or not, I am still OMAD. I eat one meal a day about 5 days a week and the occasional snack on Saturday and Sunday when my family eats during the day. And how do I eat all this meat? I do my best to buy ribeyes in bulk. Now, I know that eating multiple ribeyes a week is not realistic for most people. And that's actually one of the reasons why I still do one meal a day. It's because I'm so cheap. If I'm going to justify a ribeye, I'm going to fast for it, and that's going to be the only meal I have that day. If anything, a little bit of bacon on the side. That keeps this realistic for me, not some fantasy carnivore lifestyle that only exists online. This is really what I'm eating throughout the week. Every Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, my family eats ground beef and with them taco seasoning, and I have some sour cream and cheese with my meat. Every single Friday, we have Fajita Friday, where we take skirt steak and we grill it, and I eat fajita meat while my family eats fajitas. And it's just wonderful. We've found a system of getting back to the carnivore, mostly on my end, and then ketovore with the family throughout the week. Now, I do still drink coffee and espresso, probably more lattes than I need, dairy included, but I do try to keep it to half and half or heavy cream when I do include that dairy. And honestly, I've leaned a little too hard into cheese this year. And that's on me. That's something that I'm actively refining. So here's the lessons I've learned, and learned the hard way. Hopefully, so you don't have to. Even on carnivore, discipline still matters. Clean food doesn't erase those old habits. I'm sorry. And cravings don't just all of a sudden disappear because your diet changes. You have to change your mindset and change your activities of what you're doing to give into those cravings. Your body will tell you the truth, trust me. I sadly learned that my bowel movements is a huge indicator of how my health is internally. And you just have to decide whether you're going to listen to it or listen to your past, the miserable, painful, self-loathing past that you had. Like I said, you need to fill those cravings with activities or adventure rather than filling up with sugars and carbs that you'll later regret. So this next season is not about chasing the scale. Sure, I want to lose another 20 to 30 pounds, but it's about tightening things up, figuring out what needs to be cut, what needs to stay, and how to maintain where I really want to be. This 20 to 30 pounds will help me tighten and lose the lingering man boobs and the belly ring that I have from the weight loss and a little bit of fat that I've gained back. And now it's not because I hate what I see in the mirror anymore, but because I respect my body enough to take care of it. I respect my body enough to take care of myself for my wife, for my family, and for my friends. This is really a new outlook that, yes, 3 years later, I'm still trying to get used to. And when I look back at pictures of what I used to be, especially our family Christmas cards, ever since Rachel and I got married, we've done crazy Christmas cards. From year one till now, we always wanted to do Christmas cards that people just didn't toss out with the rest of them, but ones that they'd be etched in their memory, some out of horror, but also just because we like to have fun with them and share our lives with one another. Looking back at these old 9 years of the fat Jordan, sure, I had a fantastic life. No complaints there. But I was struggling physically and mentally. Even the year we had our foster son, when you have foster kids, you can't post pictures of them. So clearly we had to think out of the box for that Christmas card. And we have caricatures done of us. Even that year, the picture of me illustrated, I was a large cartoon man. You know you're big, even when the illustration has you with rolls and man boobs. But these last 3 years, I've gotten to see a different man. And I feel like a different man. And I want to know I need to keep seeing that different man. I need to do it for myself. I need to do it for my wife. I need to do it for my family. They're dependent on me. And so that means I need to make sure that there's a difference in me. So yes, I gained some weight this year. But those small failures don't prove that carnivore doesn't work. It proves that carnivore is actually where I belong. This isn't a temporary diet for me anymore. This is who I am. I eat meat and I love it. And it's given me back my life. So if you're in a maintenance period, you've lost all the weight you've needed to, you found the health rhythm for yourself, and you're just follow along in the carnivore. Or you've had setbacks and failed like I did time and time again over the years. Or you're starting again like I had to do multiple times when I first started carnivore. This is what real life looks like. I'm not just some guy on the internet trying to tell you what to do. I'm in the trenches with you. I am learning how to maintain my carnivore life right there with you too. Know that you're not alone. We have this community that we can lean on each other, embolden one another, encourage one another, strengthen one another, and charge one another to go out there and to live out our best carnivore life and to not give in to all those horrible life habits and lifestyles that we used to live. So I'm curious, tell me, what's the one food or habit that tries to pull you back in even when you know better? Was it stress, convenience, social situations, or something else entirely? And when you notice it happening, what helps you get back on track? If this video has helped you, go ahead and like and share it with someone who might need to hear this today. And if you want honest updates, real-time carnivore living, and real-life results, hit that subscribe button. Next week, I'm going to break down what I'm going to be tightening up right now and how I'm approaching maintenance moving forward into the new year. So you don't want to miss that. Join me next time where I'll continue to share my real life, my real results. And until then, go forth and carnivore. Bye, guys.